Hey, good evening, great people, wherever you're watching us from today. Welcome to GC Salvation and Praise. Praise the Lord. Okay, I'm super excited to bring us today's teaching on how to sell, anything and anything. Tell your friends, tell people around you that we have started the masterclass today. We are live. I'm trying to check also. Okay, let's jump into it. I can see that we are live, and I guess most people will join us very soon. Let's share this link to our friends, our loved ones. They don't want to miss this, including you. You don't want to miss this powerful edition of our masterclass, How to Sell Anything, including yourself. Okay, Father, we thank you for the masterclass of today. You are the giver of wisdom. I ask, oh God, that you brood over our spirit. You will teach us your word, and your word only will profit us, and you alone will take all the glory. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed. Amen. Amen. Okay, so let's jump into it. The topic for today is how to sell anything, including yourself. You know, I've been involved in sales and project management for over 2 decades. And most young people or even elderly ones that I meet, they always say things like, I don't like sales. I don't want to sell at all. People always run away from sales. They say, it's very tough. People complain about, the pressure. People talk about, what if you don't sell? How are you going to cope? Imagine you have a business and you are not making sales. So most people prefer to work for an organization, because to take that risk of selling something and you are depending on that as a means of livelihood, it's quite risky. So I understand. So today we are discussing, how can you sell? What are the lessons? What are the secrets that we can glean in today's time and age? Okay. All right. So let's jump into it. Number one thing I want to say is that we are all salespeople. All of us. We sell for a living. As a matter of fact, the same way cooking, learning how to cook, is a survival skill. That is how I see sales. You need to learn how to cook for you to survive. If you are a student, for example, in the university, you need to learn how to cook. I remember way back when I was in university, we cook noodles, we cook beans, we cook rice. It's a survival skill. So I see sales as a survival skill. No matter what you're doing, you are selling something. What are you selling? You are either selling a product, you are either selling a service, you are either selling yourself. Now, think about a man asking a lady out. She said, look, it's our first date. I'm taking you out. You have to sell yourself, because the question will come up. Why should I be with you? Why should I date you? So you have to sell yourself. Hallelujah. At the same time, when you are either going for an interview, they will always ask you that question. Why should we hire you? So once again, you need to sell yourself. Unfortunately, most people have not really cracked that idea of sales. Most people are still struggling with how to sell. So we're going to jump into that today. All right. So let's move forward. Let me know also if you can see the screen, and you can also type in the comment section, so all of us can learn together today. Let me put it on the big screen so everybody can see what we are doing. I think it's better this way. All right, so let's jump into it. Number one thing I want to say is that good marketers or good sales guys, they ask questions For you to be a good salesperson, you must ask questions. As a matter of fact, good salespeople, they are first marketers before sellers. And I'm going to explain what that means. For you to be a good salesperson, you must be a good marketer. Who is a marketer? People always use this marketing and sales interchangeably. They mean different things. Now, a marketer, what is marketing? Marketing is the science, is the management science of anticipating, identifying customers' need and wants. So marketing is more or less something like research. You do research, you find out, you look at as community, for example, and you ask yourself, what do they need here? What are the wants? What are the needs here? For example, you live in an environment where young people are always rushing to go to work in the morning. Most people don't have the time to cook. They don't have the time to, prepare their meals. So you come up with, a meal plan, so ready to go. So early in the morning, we have ready to pick up food for young people who are dashing out or people that are very busy in the morning in your community. That is marketing. Now, sales is simply taking the product or service to them and persuading them, not convincing them, okay, to buy. I'm going to explain all these things as we move forward. But I just want to differentiate between marketing and sales. People just say, oh, are you a marketer? Are you a salesperson? They're two different things. So marketing is more like research. Sales is the actual work. All right. So I think that's very clear. Now, moving on. I said good salespeople or anyone who is involved in all these things, before you become a good salesperson, you must be a very good marketer. You must be able to ask questions. You must be able to do research. For example, Tesla, it took them over 15 years to, to research properly on how to develop um, electric cars. They were asking questions, they were formulating, they were coming up with different ideas. Okay. And boom, they got it. And it was very easy to start selling because they identified the pain of some people. Some people are interested in using alternative ways to fuel their cars. Some people were tired of fossil fuels, carbon, the emission. Some people were tired of that. Some people find that it's not efficient. So they came up with that based on research. So what am I saying? A good salesperson must be a marketer. You must be willing to ask questions. You must be able to probe. You must do research. You must ask questions, not just come up with a product and start selling. It doesn't work that way. Okay. Now, moving on. I put it on my slide here. I say research the demographics and their interest. Know the age group of the people you want to serve. Are they adults? Are they teenagers? Are they Gen Z? Gen Z are those who were born between the year 1994, 1997 and 2012. Okay. These are Gen Z. What do they need? You need to find out their needs and their preferences. Then you need to now tailor your products and the way you communicate to them. You need to tailor it to fit into the way they think. Okay. Then when you do, feedback, you get feedback from them, then you could calibrate. That is how to understand your audience. So the key number one thing when it comes to sales is that you must ask questions from the people you want to serve. Don't just start selling. Stop selling. And that takes me to my next point. I'm going to go now to my next point, which is why is it that people find it hard to sell? Why is it that people find it very difficult to sell? The key point here is for you to sell, stop selling. I'm going to explain that. You see, salespeople all over the world are regarded as corny people. People say sales guys are very corny, they are greedy, they are self-centered, they don't care about you. Everybody just want to make money. So nobody want to be sold anything. Nobody want to be sold anything. Everybody wants to make up their mind. Nobody wants to be coerced to buy. So that's why I said, for you to start selling, stop selling. Stop trying to sell. Vast majority of our people are interested in selling. Now, for you to do that, you need to build trust. That is what is required. A good salesperson creates an enabling environment for sales to take place. You build trust. You need to build trust. For example, you walk into a shop and you are looking around. Suddenly, the salesperson just jump at you. How can I help you today? Most of us will just mumble, say, "Oh, sorry, excuse me, I'm just looking around." And the person is still persistent. "Oh, you know what? This one is good. Buy this one. Is it? Please, can you please calm down?" That is how we are all wired. Nobody wants to be sold anything. You want to be sure, am I in an environment where these people genuinely care about me? So I'm going to give us the 3C of building trust. How can you build trust? Whether you're talking to a woman, whether you are going for an interview, or you have a product you want to sell, you are into makeup business, you are selling a product or service. Number one thing here in building trust is that people want to see competence. Competence. People want to see, can you really do the job? If you call yourself a mechanic, for example, people want to see what you have done with other people's car. So don't rush them. If you have testimonials, if you have a website that shows the things you've done in the past, then you can now show them. So people want to see competence. People want to see product knowledge in display. People want to be sure that the person they are talking to is competent. Competence has to do with capacity. Okay, are you sure this guy has capacity to deliver? Then is he reliable? That's part of competence. Competence has two legs, capacity and reliability. How When we say somebody is reliable, we're saying that this person will do it every time and he will always get it right. He will do it. Okay. Capacity is he can do it, but he will not do it. These are two different things. But this guy can do it and he will do it. So your customers or your prospective customer, they want to be sure that you have capacity and you are also reliable. Some tailors, for example, they have capacity to, you know, give you a very nice clothes. They can sew, but will they deliver? We're not sure. So that's important. Number two about the 3C of trust is character. Character. That's a very scarce commodity in our society nowadays. Character. Character is about honesty. It's about honesty. People want to be sure that if they give you money, you will not run away with their money. People want to see that track record. They want to see, do you look hungry? Now you fix an appointment for 5 o'clock. You are not there until 6 o'clock. People are watching. You don't know. You see you as this guy is not doesn't have character. That's another key here we need to look out for when you are building trust. Most people say, "Oh, I have a very good product." Can't people see it? Yeah, they can see that you are good, but something is missing here. Character. The last one there, when it comes to the 3 C's of trust, is care. People want to see, want to know if you genuinely care. Do you really care about them, or you just want to sell your products? Do you really care about your customers, or just want to make money? Some people say the economy is tough. I just want to sell. No, people want to see that you genuinely care. All right. So let's move on today on that. I'm sure I've been able to clarify that I started by saying when it comes to sales, you must be a good marketer. Who is a marketer? A marketer is someone who can ask questions, somebody who can probe, somebody who can investigate the pain points of the people in society. And after that, you will package the products, communicate the products to people. Now, when you are doing that, you need to build trust. How do you build trust? I said number one, you need to show you are competent. You need to have capacity. Number two, you need to show that you have character. Are you honest? You need to display that. Number three, you need to show that you genuinely care. That is how to build trust. Now, I want to talk about something which is also very important as we deal with customers day to day. There's something called dramatic demonstration. Dramatic demonstration of what your product can do. That is very important in building trust. You need to see, sales is very easy. I always tell people, I've always been a salesperson. I love it. What people just need is that dramatic, I underline this word whenever you're watching this, dramatic demonstration of what your product or service can do. See, there's nothing in this world beats that. It's as simple as that. For example, makeup artists do this often. They present to you the before and after of this. They will say something like, look at how we are going to turn this 62-year-old woman to a 21-year-old bride in 20 minutes. Watch it. And then you see the food, they put the wig, they put everything, and they present to you. That is magical. It's called a dramatic demonstration of what your product can do. There is a Chinese adage that says a picture is better than 10,000 words, meaning people want to visualize, people want to see what you are talking about. So it's also really important for you to do that. Okay, so let's move on tonight. I also want to talk about your value proposition. I cannot overemphasize this. When you are selling to people, how do you sell? You need to understand and how to show the value of your products to people. It's very important. You need to highlight your values, your proposition. What are you doing? Don't make mistake with this at all. Don't tell us that your product can heal or cure 500 ailments. Don't lie to us. Don't tell us your product can do five things at the same time. You see, branding is about sticking to a promise kept. Let people know you for one thing. This product can do one thing and do it. Always, always. I put it there, say understand how to showcase benefits, what resonates with the audience. If someone says they have headache, let your product be the one that will cure headache and headache only. There is no ambiguity. The problem with most of us is that they always say things like our product can do X, Y, Z together. No, be very clear. Let us know what your product can do. Okay. And usually when you go for interview, and I want to talk about this, tell the hiring manager, I have helped XYZ company to save $25,000 in the past. $25 million, $1 million. I have helped them to generate so and so XYZ sales. I am going to replicate the same thing. You need to communicate your value. That's what companies do. You have to push yourself out there. You can't afford to be quiet. Even Goliath, who was an enemy of the Israelites, when he was about to fight David, he pushed himself out there. He was shouting, is there anyone who can fight me? Yeah. He was pushing out what he could do. He was pushing out how he can ravage, how he can exterminate, how he can descend on the Israelites. So if an enemy can do that, what about you as a child of God? You need to know how to put yourself out there. Look at Coca-Cola, for example. Coca-Cola, despite the fact that They are known all over the world. It will amaze you how much they spend on advertisement every quarter. They have a budget for that. Value proposition that they keep telling you when it comes to quenching your thirst, we are number one. When it comes to keep adding value, color to your events, we are number one. So big companies don't stop churning out products, ideas. They keep churning out marketing materials just to re-emphasize, to reinforce their value proposition because they know taste can change, preferences can change. People are moving from being Gen Z, people are moving from teenagers to become adults. So you need to realign your product to fit, this demographics is very important. The idea of pushing out your value proposition is important in business. And I want every entrepreneur listening to me right now, please don't joke with this. If you need to set apart a portion, in fact, it's not as if it's not an advice. It's like you need it's a must, you must do it. You need to have a percentage of your profit that you give into advertisement. And that advertisement is about value proposition. What do we stand for? What do you gain when you do business with us? As an individual, when you want to sell yourself, there is a percentage of your salary that must go into personal development. You must set apart a portion of your salary either to buy books on personal development. Some people, the moment they have a job, they don't buy books, they don't go for training. You are your greatest asset. The asset you have is yourself. So you need to feed the brain that is making the money. You need to equip the brain that is making the money. You need to sharpen your sword. You need to sharpen your mind. Read books. Go for seminars. Pay for seminars. Most people like free things. Pay for the go for look for seminar they are going to pay. You are going to pay. It's called investment. It's invest in yourself. All right. And I'm going to move and that leads me to the power of storytelling. This is amazing when it comes to selling to people. You see, people don't like this whole idea of, oh, this is my phone. I want to sell to you. This it will do this for you. We call it FABs, not FABO. It's called FABs. Features, benefits, attributes. You can change it anywhere. Features, attributes, and benefit. FAB. People are tired of that. You need to come up with a compelling story when you are selling. If you want to sell to anybody, that's the first thing you must even do. When I was in Nigeria, I used to go and meet some clients in the office and all that. I always come up with different stories to build rapport. Storytelling is key. And I give an example. Imagine you have a car and it's a used car anyway, and you want to sell this used car to someone in your neighborhood. Instead of just shouting and say, see this Toyota car that I want to sell for you, now correct. See now, see, calm down. You can tell a story. Say, hey, my bro, this car, it reminds me of about 10 or 5 years ago when we gave birth to our first daughter. It was the same car that we used to bring our princess home. She was sitting quietly sleeping. My wife and I and our family friend were in the car and we drove home. This same car is taking us from London to Scotland in winter, no accidents, amazing car. The tires there, you are telling a story, then you end by saying this car is not just a car, it's a machine, it's a ride. Now, I have created something there which is storytelling. I talk about how the car, was used to bring our daughters to the house. We've been to Scotland with this. It's storytelling. You know, then from that, your customer or your prospective customer can start asking some questions. So with that, you are building trust. You are building something. Most people always see sales is not coercing people. Sales is not convincing people to buy. Sales is persuading people. What is persuasion? Just create an environment to create rapport, make an environment conducive for rapport. Once there is rapport, people will ask you questions, and once they ask you questions, you're able to answer. You're on your way to selling. It's as simple as that. I'll tell you another story. Um, you can, if you are into small chops business, for example, you sell small chops, and you're telling people how they should buy small chops from you. On your website, or people you're talking to one on one, you can say something like, "Oh, by the way, um, this business, the idea came about 5 years ago when our first son was clocking 10, and we searched everywhere for someone who can deliver small chops to our house within 24 hours. It was short notice, and all the vendors we called, nobody was able to meet up with the deadline, and some of them were even rude on the phone. So I spoke with my husband and I said, I can actually do this thing. So what we did was we worked on customer service. We ensured that all our customers, we do not talk to them rudely, and we came up with solution that can make us to meet demand even at the last minute. Can you see now? It's storytelling. But most people just want to sell. If you are into services, for example, into services, you help people to solve problem. You can tell them that, oh, even you many years ago you were in this situation, you found yourself in this situation, and because of that you came up with this idea to help other people who are also facing this problem. Can you see the difference between a salesperson and a skillful salesperson? I hope we're learning something today. There will be time for question and answer. Okay, all right. So, having said all these things that I've mentioned before, I'm going to summarize everything so that I don't like to make my lectures long and too bulky. I make it very simple. After you have said all these things, you must be prepared. You must anticipate something called objection. See, this is the most important element of sales: managing, overcoming objections. See, no matter how beautiful you look, no matter how handsome you look, no matter how intelligent you sound, two things will either happen whenever you tell customers about a product. Some will write a check immediately and give you the money. Some people will say, by the way, this your price. I have problem with your price. The product is expensive. How do you manage that? This is where most salespeople fail, hopefully. How to manage objection. Let me quickly say something. The moment there is an objection, the moment customer says, I've listened to you, but I have a question. Now, objection is not outright no. Objection doesn't mean they don't want to buy from you. Objection means they are requesting for additional information. As a matter of fact, when there is an objection to your value proposition, it's an indication that they were listening. So clap for yourself. You should thank your staff that they're actually listening to you for them to want to ask more questions. So you're about to close a deal now. When they say, oh, the price. Now, there's this method I've used over time that's really worked for me. Now, number one thing when it comes to objection is that you do not evade the question. I've seen a lot of salespeople evading question. They're asking them about something and they run away. Don't evade. Some people become defensive, change their face, suddenly their face change. As a salesperson, you must be very neutral, be calm. Don't run away from the question. Don't evade question or the answer. Then lastly, don't lie. That's the easiest way. People always do lie. They just lie away. You know, be truthful. Like I said when I initially, building trust, you've got to be honest. That's the three C, one of the three C's of building trust. You have to show character. I'll tell you a story. What happened to me many years ago in Nigeria? I was working for an engineering company in a multinational, and I went to see a customer. Apparently, the customer was also talking to a competitor. The same product they want to buy from us, they also want to buy the same from this competitor. And our price was quite above what the competitor quoted. So ideally, they should go with the competitor because of the price. But the man listened to me and gave me audience. Then he asked me, okay, I've listened to you, but I realize that your competitor price, number one, is cheaper than yours. And number two, their product is fuel efficient than yours. So these are two objections. What do you say to that? Price is lower than yours, and they are even more. Their engine is fuel efficient more than yours. So why should I buy from you? Immediately I heard that, I acknowledge the fact that yes, I understand that their product is more efficient than us when it comes to fuel. However, I quickly noted, I told the customer that when it comes to maintenance, you are going to service their generator, okay, you're going to service their engine 5 times in a year. But if you go with our own brand, you are not going to service our brand in the next 3 years or 20,000 hours, whichever one comes first. So you are saving more money in terms of maintenance. Okay. And I added other things to it. Guess what? I did not lie. I acknowledge the fact that I am aware of my customers or my competitors' products. The man looked at me and said, you must be very good. That he was not expecting that answer from me. That what he was expecting was that maybe I would lie about something. I said, no, it's part of the core values of my organization, and even my personal brand. I will just tell you the way it is. Guess what? Despite all these things, the man paid for it immediately. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You need to know how to manage objection. Don't run away from objection. Don't lie about it. Don't evade the question. Don't lie. Don't be defensive. Just say it the way it is. Okay? All right. Now, and this is going to lead me to one thing again I want to mention. How do you now move as we close tonight? How do you move from once you have an objection? First thing first is for you to isolate the objection, and it will lead us to how to close, which is the final slide tonight. How do you handle this? Once there is an objection to your product, the next thing you need to do is to isolate the objection. Something like, sir, apart from the price, is there any other concern that you have about our product? What you're trying to do is that you want to move the customer up the ladder. Say, apart from this pricing issue, is there any concern? So that leads me to my timeline. You identify the concern. Now, once you customer say it's only the price, then I'll move to the next slide, which is closing. This closing is another master class that most people need. How to close. This is where the challenge is. Collecting the money. So anybody can talk, but you see, collecting the money is where most people feel woefully. You see, a lot of people are good in effort. My manager used to tell me way back and says management don't recognize effort. They deal with cash. So you can tell us that you have 2 billion deals in the pipeline. In the marketing environment, they would rather celebrate the one who came in with the cash of £10,000. You that you have £2 billion in pipeline, we are waiting. But we say we will celebrate the one who came in with the cash, even if it's just £5,000. We celebrate that person for now. So how do you close? So once customer says it's only the price that I have issue with. Then different strategies. You can tell the customer depending on how good you are and how the authority you are. You can say something like, "Sir, okay, if I give you 20% discount, but I need you to make payment within 5 days. This offer is just valid for 5 days. Is this something you can do? Can you see now? Now we're negotiating now." And customer say, "Okay, 5 days. Yes, it's a deal." You sign the check. You can say another thing in closing. "Oh, what if I allow you to pay on installments? Although part of our policy is that we don't allow that. But looking at your business, your turnover, your credibility, and all that, I can allow an instrumental payment. If you can pay 60% now and spread the remaining over 3 months." That's another option. So you must come up with options when it comes to closing. Then you can also say something like, "I'll give you this product for the discount you are requesting. However, there's one of your key customers that I've been planning to meet, and I realized that he's your best friend or he has to do it. Could you please introduce me or give me a referral to this person?" Can you see now? That is how to sell. Although you are given a discount, but you are leveraging your customer's position or status to get more sales. In that place now, you are getting more sales. So it to cover up for what you're doing. So these are the skills that we use when we are selling. That's why I said this is the closing technique, mastering the art of sealing the deal with confidence. It's another masterclass on its own. How to sell confidently. I'm going to stop here today. It's been 36 minutes already since I started the masterclass today on sales. And I hope you've learned something today. And if you have questions, please drop it in the comment section. Live, I can see it. I'm watching on our Facebook right now. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me right now. And if you want me to do a recap, I can quickly do that in case you're just joining us. I've made the masterclass very simple, easy to understand. And should you have a question, please let me know right now. I'm waiting, and I'll just take a few questions if you have questions from anybody. Okay, so that is the whole concept when it comes to selling. Selling is beautiful. Sales is amazing. Okay. All right. Any question from anybody? All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today on this masterclass. This is brought to you by GC Salvation and Praise. You can connect with us on our Facebook or our YouTube channel. And if you are based in Leeds, you can worship with us on Sunday. We are a thriving community of people who genuinely care about you and, of course, your spiritual growth. Thank you so much for your time today. God has blessed you. Thank you.